thieves have been treating construction sites in northwest Omaha like their own building supply store.
Douglas County Sheriff is starting to shut the door on those criminal operations. Our Mike McKnight takes us along for an exclusive first-hand look at a case being built for prosecution.
The briefing before serving a search warrant that sheriff's investigators believe will uncover a large stash of stolen building material.
About $7,000 in wood, which is 6 pallets, which gives you an idea of even if that's all they have, that will be moving quite a bit today.
There you go. There you go. The sheriff and investigations captain follow their team to a Bellevue apartment complex where a suspect's vehicle is parked.
Is that the van?
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Lock it in so it can't move.
Deputies first checked the suspect's apartment.
He's not here.
Not here?
No.
Good.
The search team then moves to garages looking for stolen material, knock on wood.
There's stacks of plywood.
Working inside out, deputies open the garage door and find what they listed in the search warrant.
That's a lot of plywood.
Sheets of 4x8 plywood allegedly stolen from Douglas County construction sites.
This probably signifies just a fraction of what they've stolen over the time. I think my investigators think that they've probably stolen over $100,000 worth of goods from various home builders.
And the stack in one garage is just a start.
90, 91, 92, 93.
Another garage at the same complex and one a few miles away yield more sheets of suspected stolen plywood.
This 3-week-long plywood theft case has been hard work, and not just finding the location of the stolen lumber, but also taking it into evidence.
Altogether, from 3 apartment garages, deputies load up 200 sheets of plywood, both 1/2-inch and 3/4-inch thick.
Be held for evidence until court purposes.
And hopefully gets back to...
They'll get returned eventually to the victims of the crimes.
Wood chips on the floor indicate there had been far more plywood stashed in the garages that the sheriff suspects has been sold on various online market sites.
Selling what they steal from honest home builders to the public to make a profit.
The prices listed today for legitimate online sales range from $8 to $15 a sheet, though the investigation is ongoing with no arrests yet. Recovering stolen plywood should floor alleged thieves left with nothing to sell.
It's a small handful of people committing these crimes over and over and over. This is how we're going to disrupt these organizations.
On your side in Bellevue, Mike McKnight, 6 News.
Metro Omaha Builders Association says with higher priced material and supply chain issues, construction site theft has been up.
The association praises the sheriff's department for the latest bust because that detective work helps to keep housing more affordable.
And because the theft investigation crosses county lines, Sarpy County law enforcement assisted in the search warrant.